Zelensky is refusing to hold elections in Ukraine unless the United States pays more money to his nation. It just does not make any sense because we've given plenty of money to Ukraine and Zelensky, but now he wants more. Also in the news, Democrats not believing that illegal immigrants actually are breaking the laws. That's illegal immigrants. Wow. Yeah, no. According to Democrats, that's the truth. With that being said, all of that and more on today's episode.
Facts over tracks, listen that, spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas, think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past.
So digging right in, we actually have a CBS News article on Zelensky not wanting to hold elections without financial support from the United States and the EU. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky is demanding more aid for his country's allies, saying it will be unable to properly hold an election otherwise, which does not make any sense because what did you do for the years and years that you had election for or had elections, quote unquote? What did you do back then? You didn't have the United States' aid. Maybe you did, but not as much as what you're having right now. So I just don't get what the problem is that people are not seeing. It's obviously a money grabbing scheme that Zelensky is playing here, and it's because of the fact that he just does not want to hold an election. He just wants to seize power and that's it. He does not want to give any power away. He just wants to keep the power for himself. This is what he says in a quote right here. I told him, if the United States and Europe gives us financial support, I'm sorry, I will not hold elections on credit. I will not take money from weapons and give it to elections either, Zelensky said, recalling a conversation with Senator Lindsey Graham, Republican from South Carolina. But if you give me this financial support, if the paramilitarists realize that we need to do this, then let's quickly change the legislation and, most importantly, let's take risks together. No, because Ukraine is not part of America, so why would we take a risk together? That does not make any sense whatsoever. What we are going to do is we're going to tell you to hold your election with the funding that you already have, and you're going to have to do it unless you're not going to get any more funding, and your country will not be a country anymore. So it just sucks to be you because you're in the predicament of wanting our aid. It's not vice versa. So what are you giving to America to be telling America what to do? No, you're not giving anything to America. So what we need to do is we need to sit here and say, no, actually, you not holding an election will make us double think and think again before sending you money at all in the future. So you might want to trend very, very lightly. With that being said, we're going to dig into another article. We do have a Federalist article. We have, someone tell Democrats 100% of illegal immigrants commit crimes. And of course, this is the truth. Mass illegal immigration is bad for America, no matter who the immigrants are or how many crimes they commit. This week, Democrat Senator Chris Murphy argued on the House floor, or the Senate floor, I should say, that you actually statistically safer living in an immigrant neighborhood because immigrants commit crimes at a lower rate than native-born Americans. That does not make any sense because they broke the law to get here. Whether you chose to believe the facts or not, this is not my decision. It's your decision, the senator from Connecticut said. But immigrants commit crimes in this country at a lower rate than naturally born citizens. You may not believe that, but I hate to tell you, it's the truth. His comments came not just amid President Joe Biden's unprecedented and ongoing border crisis, but ahead of the Senate Republicans' second attempt so far this year to pass a bipartisan border security bill to address what Murphy called a fake immigrant crime wave, designed to breed fear and resentment of illegal immigrants. The bill failed. It's just stupid because you can look at video footage of people just swimming on the beach of New York City. Not even in New York, in other areas, San Diego, stuff like that. We see it for our own eyes. People coming in with speedboats and then dropping off a bunch of illegal immigrants, and then they're just coming on the shore. They just hop right into a GMC truck, and then they're taken to processing. So it does not matter where they come through to America, they still get in illegally. It's just so simple. It's so simple to understand that illegal immigrants don't belong in this country because they broke the law and they're coming through illegally. Oh my God, if you come through legally the right way, then you don't need to worry about coming through and breaking our laws because you already came through the right way. There's a right way to do it and there's a wrong way to do it, and coming through illegally is the wrong way to do it. What should we make of Murphy's little speech? The notion that immigrants are somehow more upstanding and law-abiding than people born in the United States is an old argument that Democrats and slack-jawed libertarians trot out every time Republican lawmakers try to fix the border or raise any objections to illegal immigration. But since Murphy, who let be let's be clear, has never lived in an immigrant neighborhood, trotted out this argument last week. Let's address it heads on. The first problem is conflicting illegal and legal immigrants. Setting aside whether we should increase or decrease the number of legal immigrants, or whether legal immigration is a net positive for the country, there's no question that 100% of illegal immigrants commit crimes. Every single one of them commits a crime the moment they illegally cross the international border between the United States and Mexico. Of course, I agree with that fully. Even those who claim asylum only do so as part of a formal removal proceedings. Removal because no matter their particular background or reason for coming to America, they have unlawfully entered the United States, and as soon as they are arrested by Border Patrol, their deportation process begins. Adjudicating asylum claims is part of that process, not an exception to it. At least, that's how the law is supposed to work. The Biden administration has found creative ways to ignore or bypass the United States immigration law, but the fact remains that it's illegal to enter the country except through a port of entry. And if you sneak in between ports of entry, you're committing a crime. Why is this important? Because the studies that Democrats like Murphy in the open border crowd at places like the Cato Institute, the CATO Institute, often cite conflict illegal immigrants with legal immigrants, which screws data and gives misinterpretation that all immigrants are somehow better and more upstanding people than American citizens. For example, a 2023 Stanford study found that since 1960, immigrants have been less likely to be incarcerated than those born in the United States, and immigrants haven't committed more crimes than the native-born population since 1870. So, okay, now what they're saying is they're saying that just because you came to this country, you're having a better life for yourself, you came through legally, stuff like that, you actually escaped tyranny and communism, then you appreciate the things that you have, you don't get arrested, stuff like that, then you're going to be put into the same exact group as a person that came through illegally from Mexico, that's a drug dealer, that's crime ridden, that gets arrested every single week. So why are these people in the same exact group? No. Of course, there's going to be more legal immigration than actually illegal immigration, because illegal immigration has just taken a foothold of American society in the last year or so, or I would say the last 4 years or so. But legal immigration has been going on since 1970s. So, of course, the 1970s to now, that's what, 50 years or so? Yeah, 50 years ago, is going to be more people than actually 4 years. It's just a crazy situation at the same exact time, though, because of the fact that this is just so, it's just so obvious that people that are pushing a certain narrative are just doing so just because of the fact that they have a political interest to do so, and no other thing. They don't want to focus on the facts first. They don't want to focus on actually giving you the correct information at the end of the day. They just have their own narrative that they're going to push, and that's it. Okay, moving on to the next article, we actually have a Federalist article where Biden launches largest attack yet on American coal with new lease ban in Powder River Basin. The Biden administration is going after Western coal producers with the new rules published last week that eliminate new coal leases in the nation's largest coal producing region. Last Thursday, the Bureau of Land Management, the BLM, announced the agency would halt additional leases to coal mine accesses across a coal mine across the Powder River Basin, which runs through southeast Montana and northeast Wyoming, and is the most productive stretch of coal reserves in the United States. So I'm just trying to understand this. They're trying to make sure that all of the prices are low for the election, while at the same exact time trying to cut the production of it just doesn't, oh my god, boggles my mind on why these people that think that they're going to be doing something for the election, actually lowering prices for the American citizens, so at least the people that are undecided can vote for Joe Biden, because they're like, it's lower prices, why not? At least attempt to try to fix the problem, not just try to sit here and cut production at the same exact time. Cutting production means that the supply is actually lower, which actually means that the demand is actually higher artificially, and which means that the price will go up. So what are they trying to do? They're trying to say here, no, don't use coal burning stuff, use natural gas, and instead of using natural gas, use electric, and you need to switch to EVs and stuff like that. It's just stupid. Also, no surprise to see his environmental friends celebrate this terrible decision, as their signal coal is to destroy private sector jobs in favor of more heavily subsidized energy failures, Burns said. Every American should remember this decision the next time the White House says that it's not responsible for high prices. Of course. Every single time they do something like this, the prices go up. And then they're like, well, that's because of Russia. No, it's not because of Russia, you dumb. It's because of the fact that you're cutting production of the stuff that we need as Americans, that we use every single day. And then you're like, oh, well, I don't know why the prices are so high. Joe Biden does not have a button that actually gets to set the prices of gas, natural coal, stuff like that. Okay, yeah, if he does not have a button to press that sets the prices, then why the hell is he doing laws and stuff like this, which means that the supply will be lower and the demand will be higher artificially? It's just stupid. United States power prices have outpaced annual inflation, with consumer costs up almost 30% since President Biden took office. According to a Wall Street Journal analysis of government data in April, a report from the House Oversight Committee published on Thursday linked the administration's energy agenda to more than $1 trillion in regulatory costs and high gas prices that eclipsed a nationwide average of $5 per gallon in 2022. Of course. And then they're saying here that they're going to actually release, not here, but they're saying in general that they're going to release more reserves, and that's going to artificially lower the price of gas to Trump era levels. So they say. But the thing is, we had the Trump era low prices while Trump was president the whole entire time, not just temporarily. Yeah, let's just say during COVID there was $1.30 gallons of gas, which is really good, by the way. I filled up my car and it was like $13. I handed the guy $15 and I got like $3 back. Now I pay like $40 to fill up the tank, which is just disgusting. But that's besides the point. If I go back then, it was a nice time. If I go now, obviously it's not a good time because of the fact that there was so many things going on that Joe Biden pushed just because he has an agenda that he wants to push here. Now, with the prices artificially going down temporarily, people might be tricked into saying, well, it's not that bad because of this, blah, 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 blah. But we need to remember at the same exact time that the national average was $5 per gallon in 2022. That's disgusting. That's because of Joe Biden's policies that he's pushing to make sure that we don't produce oil, and that oil can't be refined to gas and stuff like that. It's so stupid. I just don't get why America can't go and produce more stuff. Just like if we were to look at way back when in the industrial time, when there was factories in Massachusetts and stuff like that, we had factories in America, not just in California, not just in very, very small select parts of America, and everyone else just went to China. No, we had stuff in America. We should have kept it that way. So people would work at the factory from the morning to the nighttime. Obviously, it's not a good thing, but at the same exact time, it made our society actually more flourishing because we made more stuff in America, which is a good thing. Because of the fact that there was so much regulations and stuff like that, these companies ended up just moving away. They just ended up moving to China. But we can make America great again. We can make America just like those times, the industrial times. That's the best part of America, because gas prices were like 15 cents a gallon. And of course, with us printing money, yeah, we need to work on this ASAP. Yeah, it's just a disgusting thing that they think this is going to solve the problem that we Americans have, and we Americans cannot afford our bills because of Joe Biden's economy. So with that being said, we're going to be digging into the headlines of the week. So digging right in, we actually have a Daily Wire article. We have Biden blasted for claiming Trump Republicans have prevented the toughest border enforcement in history. So that's not true. President Joe Biden was slammed on social media on Thursday after he claimed that the blame for the ongoing border crisis falls on conservatives, whom he says have failed to pass the largest border enforcement in history. Biden posted on X on Thursday evening, blaming former President Donald Trump and Republicans for rejecting legislation that partly addressed the border crisis. The president's focus on illegal immigration comes just months before the 2024 election, and voters have suggested that illegal immigration will be the biggest issue determining how they cast their ballots. Quote unquote, this is his tweet right here. Donald Trump and his MAGA Republican allies don't care about securing the border or fixing Americans' broken illegal system. If they did, they would have supported the toughest border enforcement in history. Instead, partisan politics they put partisan politics ahead of national security. So, and it's just funny because End Wokeness actually went and they commented underneath and they said, "You literally terminated Trump border security measures on day one." And that actually has more likes than Joe Biden's tweet, which Joe Biden's tweet has 9.5 thousand likes. And the comment has 22,000 likes. So yeah, that was ratioed. Republicans and political commentators were quick to point out on social media that Biden terminated Trump's strict border policies and diverted funds away from building a wall along the southern border. Fox News reporter Bill Largin said that the president could even take executive action immediately and to reinstate the Trump-era emergency declaration and address the illegal immigration crisis. One executive action Biden could take is to reinstate the national emergency declaration at the border that he terminated immediately upon taking office and declared to be unwarranted, Milgen wrote. 3 years later, Biden himself, who has said border is insecure, and his DHS secretary admits it's a crisis. Okay, so here's the problem here. Of course, Joe Biden signed a bunch of laws on day one. He doesn't even know what he signed. So he just forgot what he did, and this is being nice here. He forgot what he did, and then he's just signing a bunch of bills, and he's like, I don't think that's a thing that I can do, guys. I don't think that's a thing that I can do. And then he signs the bill saying, taking off the emergency measures. On day one, he signed like 20 bills. So that's exactly what Trump needs to do. Sign 20 bills. Put back all of the policies that made America great. It's just stupid. After reversing Trump policies 3 years ago, Biden has pushed for Congress to address the border crisis, claiming that he doesn't have the constitutional power to take the necessary action on illegal immigration, which does not make any sense because he did it on day one. Oh my goodness. So he did it on day one. He can't do it on day 649 because something changed, I guess. No, that's just stupid because he does not want to. That's why he's saying that he can't. So moving on to the next article, we actually have a Daily Wire article again. We have 2 more women file lawsuits alleging that they were victims of sex crimes by Sean Diddy Combs. So 2 more women filed lawsuits against rap mogul Sean Diddy Combs this week after explosive footage surfaced last week that showed him violently beating his then girlfriend Casey Ventura. On Tuesday, former model Crystal McKinney alleged that she was 22 years old. Combs forced her to perform oral sex on him at his recording studio in New York City in 2003 after the two had been drinking and she was giving marijuana and she believed was laced with a narcotic. She says that after the incident, she was blackballed in the industry and suffered from a variety of mental issues and even attempted suicide. Oh, that's not good. On Thursday, April Leprose said in a separate lawsuit that she met Combs in 1994 while she was studying at the Fashion Institute of Technology. She alleged that she was sexually assaulted 4 times over several years, including one incident where she says she was given drugs, forced to have sex with Combs' girlfriend, and then raped by Combs. The 2 allegations bring the total number of women who have accused Combs of sex crimes to 6. The allegations can't come after Combs issued an apology this week for the video that showed him assaulting Ventura, even though he had previously denied the allegations were true. It is difficult to reflect on the darkest times of my life, yada yada yada, blah 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 blah. No accountability. Okay, so he says that he takes full responsibility. But you wouldn't do something like that if you take full responsibility because you need to know what you're doing while you're doing it, my guy. You're literally like 95 years old. You need to actually know what you're doing. Okay. With that being said, we're going to end off this episode here. If you did like this episode, that's not a good note to end off this episode, but I do need to prepare because I am going over to Florida. I'm going to be recording a lot in Florida, so I will keep you guys updated. The last time I tried to fly out somewhere, my flight actually got delayed 13 hours, and then I didn't end up going because I was too tired. I said, nah, after this, I'm not gonna go. So I was supposed to go to Phoenix, Arizona in January, but that got canceled. So I'm gonna take all of my equipment with me. I'm going to actually still do my show on Monday as planned on Memorial Day because it's very, very important to do the Memorial Day show. And also, I'm gonna be coming back from Florida on Tuesday. It's going to be very, very exciting to bring everything with me to the hotel room. So with that being said, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening, and I will see you guys all in Florida. I will keep you guys updated on the on my flight and all of that on my Instagram stories and my and everything like that. We'll make a video about the travel vlog on my channel on, I believe, on Sunday. Might as well post it on Sunday. With that being said, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening, and I hope they have a great rest of your day.